What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Madness, the name Site Technics, and today we're going into part 2 of the lore and character upgrades for Guidus. So, let's go Soul Hunter now. With a with the passive skill, normal attack deal damage. Normal attack damage is halved, but basic attacks inflict soul extortion on the enemy for 2, 3, or 5 seconds. When the enemy under soul extortion dies, it's spawns a spirit that attacks nearby enemies. The spirit's HP is 30, and when it attacks, it decreases by 3 and disappears when it reaches 0. Normal attacks against bosses have a 10% chance to create a spirit. Using the active skill up or down takes 1 damage for me, but increases the HP of the spirits. Right or left consumes a spirit with the shortest duration and increases the attack speed of the other spirits for 10 seconds. Level 1 is a shield, level 2 is also a shield, and level 3, when the last remaining spirit disappears, 1 new spirit is created. Soul extortion duration is increased by a second. Shield up by 1 for star 4, and active skills spirit HP increased by 5, attack speed increased by 50%, and soul extortion duration up by 2 seconds. Huh. Hero story. Having spent his life as a gravekeeper, he suddenly fainted in the middle of the graveyard one day and awakened to a spiritual sense. After that, he closed his eyes and began to see his spiritual world. He was able to borrow their powers in exchange for putting ferocious souls to sleep. Everyone in the village was afraid of him and pointed at him, but he disappeared from the village without causing any harm after that. Aw, he's just the That's so sad. He's just I do it by himself. Sylph. Passive skill. Wind charge. Charge wind energy around Sylph up to 3 every 5 or 3 attacks on enemies. Active skill. Consume a wind energy to unleash a wind blade in a cross direction around Sylph. It's a piercing attack that does 300% of attack damage. First star is an HP. Second is a shield. The third is you can charge wind up energy up to 5. 4 stars up is attack damage increased by 2, and the fifth is wind charge condition changed to 3 hits. So at 5 stars, it only takes 3 hits to charge instead of 5. That makes it much better. Sylph, the spirit of wind, has been regarded as a fairy tale character, and they also did not want to be noticed. However, the ominous winds from the Abyss Gate threatened them. They ended up fighting to protect themselves. Sounds about right. The Monk. Passive skill. Triggers a KO skill on each to cause instant death on hitting a normal enemy 3 times in a row regardless of its HP. KO is activated only when your third attack hits the enemy. Deals 300% of damage to boss monsters instead of instant death. Active skill. When casting the skill, a flow of energy that blocks all attacks in that direction is activated. If you are attacked by an enemy while the flow of energy is being activated, your defense will be activated. If you stop the skill within a half a second when the defense is successful, the attack will return to the enemy. Whoa. First and second stars are HP up. The third one is an attack speed up, and counterattack activates a Nova. 4 stars increase attack speed, and attack damage and the combo recognition times increased. Hero story. Martial arts have been treated as a basis for handling weapons. However, neither weapons nor magics work on those who have reached the apex of martial arts, having practiced martial arts alone and lonely. He joined the battle to announce its existence to the world. Huh. These 2 characters are just alone. Arcane Wizard. Passive skill. Normal attacks do no damage, but apply up to 3 arcane orbs to the target. Active skill. The target to which the arcane orb is applied causes an arcane explosion, dealing 100, 300, or 500% of attack damage per arcane orb. The arcane explosion deals splash damage to 8 blocks around it, beating a 3x3. During skill charge, the defense chance is increased by 30%, and defense penetration is 80%. Wow, that's like really strong. HP up by 1 on 1 star. Second star is an attack speed boost. Third star is an HP. Same thing, movement speed for fourth. Movement speed and fully applied arcane orbs will immediately explode. So, in other words, you punch them 3 times and then they just automatically blow up. Seems pretty nuts. Hero story. Arcane wizards dealing with different types of magic, not fire, ice, electricity, or wind, devoted themselves only to magical research for battle. However, their existence was forgotten in the peaceful realm, and she was the only one left who could wield the power of the arcane. Concentrating on research in a world without battle, she did not even realize that the palace had been engulfed by the abyss, but arrived at the palace late, at the call of the court wizards, who were driven to weakness. Clearly, the outcome could have been different if she had joined the battle earlier. However, when she had finally arrived, the palace was about to fall and was sealed in flames without even using her power in the battle. The Transcendent of Wisdom is late? Oof.
Power off.
Blood Mage, or the Mage of the Red Moon. Passive skill. When you hit an enemy with a normal attack, you suck their blood at a certain probability. When attacked, you lose more HP, as much as 50% of the damage. Active skill. Consumes an HP to cast a blood wave that deals 200% of attack damage to the entire room. If your HP is 1 or less, it cannot be used. Movement speed up by 10% first star. Second star is an attack boost. Third star is an attack speed up, not attacked by bats, and stairs open without killing bats. Fourth star is a damage buff by 2, and the fifth star is an increase to attack speed and the drain life chance. Huh. Hero story. The bloodthirsty monster without seeing sunlight was once the most powerful lord of the kingdom, who was cursed by other lords who were jealous of him. As a wise and good-natured lord, he has suffered hundreds of years, sealing and burying himself in the coffin basement of the mansion to avoid harming anyone. Meanwhile, the demons of the abyss freed from the seal and opened his coffin in the basement of the mansion. Liberated from his seal that had lasted for hundreds of years, he killed the demons and quenched his thirst with their blood. Now he is leaving for the palace. No one knows whether his purpose of the journey is to save the royal palace or to quench his thirst. Okay, cool. So, display purification level? 0. Okay, all of them are purified 0%. Now, Saja. When you kill an enemy with a basic attack, there's a 44% chance to gain a soul up to 8. Active skill. Consume all the souls you have, dealing 50% of attack damage to the entire room for each number of souls you control. The Death's Guide. Dang. First star is attack speed and damage buff. Second star is attack speed and shield buff. Third star is movement speed and soul creation chance up by 44%. Ooh, that means every attack has, every kill has an 88% chance to get a soul? That's, really good. 4 star, movement speed and attack speed up. And the 5th star is chance to create a second soul is 44%. Wow. Hero story. In the East, there's a story about a being who comes to reap the souls of the dead. The Reaper approaches the person who is about to die, and performs a ritual to call his name 3 times. After this ceremony, his soul is led by the Reaper to the underworld. However, the doors of the abyss opened, and the souls of those who haven't been judged were returned to the living world, breaking the balance between the underworld and the overworld. When they should not have affairs over this mortal world, will be once again repped to restore the balance between the two worlds. Oh, so Saja is just there to return the souls from the abyss back to where they belong. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Samurai. Passive skill. Attack damage does not increase attack speed does not increase above 3. With 2 passive skills. Shadow. When attacking, the enemy one space behind takes damage, or Flash inflicts 50% additional damage, but the damage received is doubled. Blocks incoming attacks within 0.22 hundredths of a second when attacking. Active skill. Teleports the nearest monster on the map. Attacks 8 tiles around it, meaning 3x3, and switches the instance of Shadow and Flash. Invincible while teleporting. Level bonuses being star 1 is attack damage, star 2 is HP, star 3 attacks increases attack damage by 50% for 5 seconds when changing stances. Casting speed increased by 20% for star 4, and star 5 is no attack speed limit in shadow stance. Oh gosh. Hero story. Samurai in Eastern looks like the same swordsmen and knights in other countries, but they are far different from them. They don't want to belong to a group, wander around alone, and get paid to keep them wherever they wherever they want them to be. Arriving at the royal palace after long wandering, he collapsed from accumulated fatigue. Sometime later, when he opened his eyes, he found that he had barely been saved by a woman from the east. Shortly after, when the abyss wakens, the woman jumps into the palace alone, and he fights to protect the benefactor who saved his life. I wonder if that character is one of these. And now it's QB. Dimension Traveler. Passive skill. Basic attack hits 3 tiles, and when you kill 3 enemies, you get an additional power. Up to 3. Active skill. Consumes 1-dimensional power to teleport to a specific location using a brush. Invincible while teleporting. Up and down moves you to the exit, right and left to the farthest enemy. Star 1 is an HP buff, Star 2 is an HP buff and attack. Third star is every third basic attack causes an ink explosion equal to 100% of the attack damage in front. Fourth star is an attack damage, and fifth star, enemies attacked by QB get their movement speed reduced by 20% due to the influence of ink. Odd. Anyway, hero story. QB, the manager of the multiverse, safely prevented the collapse of the dimensional nucleus, which maintains the dimensional balance. Later, when traveling around the multiple dimensions connected like a pipe, she discovered that the 2 dimensions were colliding and interfering with each other. It often happens, but she curiously enters the dimension inside the bonfire connected to the royal palace to find out what happens. Oh, so QB's just Doctor Strange. Got it. Pirate Captain, or the Acid of Youth. Basic attack. Passive skill. Basic attacking. An enemy with a wound debuff drops a bombardment. It deals 200 to 400% of attack damage to the nearest enemy. The bombardment inflicts a wound debuff on the enemy. 1 second cooldown time. Active skill. Fires a bullet with 50% of attack damage forward. Bolts inflict the wound debuff. Level 1 buff. Get Isid's dice at start. Second star is an attack damage buff. Third star is the fragments of the shell spread diagonally, dealing damage equal to 50% of the attack damage and inflicting a wound debuff. Fourth star is an attack up, and the fifth star is bombardment. Damage increased to 400%. Okay. Hero story. Isid is a very peculiar pirate. He always relied on luck for his voyage, and his lucky dice determined everything about him. He met a storm on the way to the legendary Lucky Pelago. Sucked into a whirlpool that appeared out of the storm, he lost consciousness, and when he opened his eyes, he was lying in the front of a bonfire where he saw a huge door. Something was strange. If it had been wrecked, there would have been a beach or shipwreck. He rolls the dice again. It's 6. In case if you're wondering, Isid's dice is a thing that increases your attack damage, I think. Either increases your attack damage or decreases the health of the enemies in the room based off what the dice rolls. So the pirate captain is Isid? Oh, that's kind of sweet. The elemental master, or the ultimate researcher. Passive skill. Up to 4 elemental orbs are generated on the floor at regular intervals. Basic attacks trigger the effect of the last element acquired. Active skill. It can be activated by collecting all 4 elemental orbs. Fires an elemental wave that deals 500 to 800% of the attack damage in front. First star is an attack buff. Second star is HP and shield. Third star is elemental orb spawn interval reduced to 3 seconds. Fourth star is attack damage buff, and the fifth star increases the elemental wave damage to 800%. Hero story. Although she is an elf and a palace researcher, she was born with no control of her mana, but with her passion for magic, she began to devise staff that would not use the caster's mana. It was an invention that could temporarily express the characteristics of the elements in the staff, and ultimately fuse the elements to create a huge mana storm. However, she failed repeatedly in the element fusion, and by the time her staff research plan was scrapped, the door to the abyss was opened, and she proceeded with her final experiment with only 1 staff left. Whoa. So she's just a massive researcher, as said by the name. Dark Stalker, which is called the Dark Sniper. Sounds about right. Passive skill. After 5 seconds of being uncloaked, Bullseye will burrow into the darkness and become cloaked. It will dissipate after shooting, or after 10 seconds. Oh, so is Bullseye the name of this character? Active skill. When charging, concentrates your mind and shoots bullets. When concentrating, attack damage increases by 100% per second. Increased attack damage lasts for half of a second, and fired bullet pierces the enemy. Level 1 bonus is a movement speed buff. Second star is a cloak for 5 seconds when you kill an enemy. Third star is a shockwave is generated when enhanced shooting, dealing 50% damage to nearby enemies and knocking them away. Fourth star is 2 more shield. And the fifth star is when the enhanced bullet hits an enemy, Dark Bolt is emitted, dealing 100% of your damage. Huh. It's kind of really powerful, isn't it? Hero story. Bullseye, who was born in the world of darkness, survived in the world of darkness by using a special magic weapon capable of dealing with dark magic. Oh, okay, so I was right. His name is Bullseye. His magic weapon is an ancient artifact that fires dark bullets. Bullseye uses this magic weapon to gain the upper hand in battle, hiding in the darkness to execute countless acts of justice. And Bullseye constantly controlled himself to overcome the temptations of darkness and kept his mind calm. He overcame it without being stained by the darkness, even though he used his power of darkness as his own. Oh, that's so cool. He has like he's like really nuts mental fortitude. Sweet. And the last character, the queen. Or the king. I'm sorry. It says the king. It says queen as the title name, except the king is the next one. Passive skill. You obtain up to 3 to 6 petals. A petal is generated every 20 seconds. When you receive damage, petals are generated equal to the damage received. Whoa. Well, okay. Active skill. You consume a petal to rush forward and attack enemies on your path with 300% of attack damage until you hit a wall or cliff. If this skill kills an enemy, the petal will be restored. This character is nuts. Level 1 bonus. HP up. Level 2 is HP and attack damage. Level 3 is when using a basic attack, fires a sword aura that does 30% of your damage to the nearest enemy after a second. Fourth star is a max petal capacity increased to 3. And the fifth star is whenever an enemy takes damage, there's a 30% chance of summoning a Queen's Illusion that deals 100% damage. Huh. Hero story. Skilled in swordsmanship and archery, she was dispatched as a scout to build a new kingdom in this land that had been polluted in the past. Using the magic and natural powers of the elves, she had made the kingdom prosperous, and after the kingdom was stabilized, she heard that there was a serious problem in her hometown, which she sometimes missed. She left the kingdom and headed for her hometown. While she had dealing with the dying tree problem in her hometown, she received as an urgent letter from the kingdom. The door to the abyss has opened again. And we're going to be getting into that next time we play. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you did enjoy and want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I'll continue doing more things just like this. And I'll see you guys next time.